I'm continuing my East Bali jaunt and I'm in Padang Bay. I'll just show you this hotel that I'm in real quickly. It's called Japun Inn, a nice little inn, a nice little sort of guest house type of scenario. Big bed. It's costing me, I think, 330,000 a night or thereabouts. Then it has this nice kitchen area with a pretty large fridge. And then obviously a bathroom and so forth is down there. But I really like it for the price. And the reason I chose it is it's a little bit out of town. And the reason I wanted a little bit out of town is that I have had some experience here in Padang Bay in years gone by when I couldn't sleep at night. I was in a pretty, like a cheap guest house at the time because the horns from the 24-hour-a-day ferries were keeping me awake. Like they'd go every few hours or every couple of hours. Ding, ding, ding. It's not the end of the world, but I thought this time I might just try something a little bit out of town. So that's where I am at the moment. Today, I plan to walk around town, have a bit of a chat to a few people, but also get a few views, maybe at sunset, if we get a sunset this afternoon. It's a bit cloudy. And then head over to the Blue Lagoon area, show you around there. Also, see what goes on. Let's check it out. Let's get stuck in. What I like about the East and Padang Bay in particular are these hills covered in jungle. They're all over the place and you just get such a beautiful tropical vibe. This is from the rooftop of the place I'm staying at. This place is about 700 meters from the center of town. So it's not that far really. And it's certainly close enough that you can walk into town for dinner and that sort of thing. I've just come out of of my little guest house there and saw an HQ V8 hold and go past, which is really weird in this sort of area. That was pretty cool. If you love your cars, and I know some of you do, you would have loved that. I'm actually seeing they got up this little gung here. Like what's up there? I don't think it's someone's house. It looks like a public access road, like an alleyway. Just go up here first. Because I find this area on its own quite interesting straight away. Like little garden there, growing some crops. Yeah, this is sort of not really my plan today, but I've just come outside the door and found it very interesting. Look at it. This is very, very cool. It stops there. Well, that's about as cool as it gets, but I feel like a real village vibe here, and I'm all for it. Lots of tomatoes in there, it seems. Is it tomatoes? No. May not be tomatoes, could be something else. To be honest, it looks like there's a fair bit of low-cost housing around here as well. Hello. Yeah, a lot of low-cost housing, so not just people's normal houses, but people living in, well, not really boarding houses like kos-kosan, but they're similar to that, you know. Yeah, well, you could call it kos-kosan actually. I mean, it just looks like there are families living in budget housing around here, and I don't know how it's provided or how they pay for it, whether it's subsidised by the government or not, probably. Sometimes it is. That up there is the Bali special. That is a Project Mangkrak. Look at it. It's one of those stalled projects. And it's something there's plenty of here in Bali. Plenty of Project Mangkrak. Oh, these guys have got roosters. Look at this. A few dogs around here. Halo. Mau lihat ayam?
Oh, silakan.
Yeah. Woo. These are big ones. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Juara satu. Juara satu. Everyone loves their chickens around here. These roosters around here in Bali. They're usually for fighting. Yeah, they're usually for fighting, but not sure about those ones. Someone's got a little rubbish fire going up here a couple of little rubbish fires going on in the gutters. This is a real village. Hello. Hello. Love it around here. Love it. It's really odd in Bali. It just really does not take much to get into the real Bali. You know, we talk about the real Bali and we say it's a little bit mythical, but it's there always. And the Bali that you want to see is usually not far from where you are, not far from the tourist areas. Just requires a little bit of an effort to get there. Like it usually requires a bit of a walk. Like in Sanur, it's there. It's right there, but yeah, even in the main road, you go down some of those side streets, the real Bali's there. You gotta look for it though. You can't just sort of let it come to you. Dividing the village where I'm staying, the little Japun Inn place, and the main centre of Padang Bay is this little hill, which I'm going up over now. It's not that big a deal, but yeah, if you don't like hills, it's gonna be problematic. But it's jungle both sides. It's pretty crazy actually. That looks like it used to be some sort of access way for a car. Like that has been dug out in there at some point for some reason. And it looks like it goes down there and then kicks back up there. But I don't know how long ago that was. You just don't know here because the vegetation grows back so quickly. It could be 20 years or it could be, you know, 12 months. I mean, this has a nice little sort of foundation wall with some steps going up into it. Not sure what was there in the past or what the plans were, but there was obviously something. There we go, we get over the top of the hill and then we have a view down on top of Padang Bay. Oh, some sleepy cats on the roof over here. They are cute ones, a couple of gingers. That one's a solid one, that one, a solid ginger. Look at that one there. There's a cute one and there's another one there, just dead to the world. Before I moved to Bali, I didn't really know much about the cat situation. I'd always assumed that it was just dogs everywhere. Hello. I assumed that there's just dogs, no cats, because there's so many dogs you wouldn't have cats. And you know, being a bit of a cat fan, only later in life I've been a cat fan because we had so many strays around my house when I was in West Java. I was surprised when I got to my current house that there are actually cats everywhere. They're sort of hiding in the shadows because there are so many dogs around. So they're in the roofs, they're on the top of the fences and that sort of stuff, and they will come down from time to time to visit and get a bit of food. But then they're in the shadows again, you know, when the dogs are around. So yeah, I was quite surprised by that. This is quite nice down here. Bamboo Paradise. Oh, I was going to stay there. That looks like a nice place. That would have actually been a nice place away from some of the noise as well, that Bamboo Paradise. I saw that they had an air-conditioned room there for a pretty good price with breakfast included under 400,000. Aloha Inn looks pretty cool. It sort of gives me these backpacker vibes. The first time I came here to Padang Bay, I felt the backpacker vibe. It didn't feel like a transit town to me. It felt more like a backpacker place. And the places that I stayed in, the people that I met were all of a particular age, all on a particular journey as well. But in recent times, I haven't really felt that so much. I haven't felt that backpacker thing. In fact, there was also a diver thing happening here at the time as well when I first came. So divers and backpackers. The most recent times that I've been here though, I haven't really felt that. I felt more of like a transit town feel. And that's not a pleasant feel because when it's just about extractive practices by the locals because people are just transiting, you don't get a good feel about it. I would love it if that's a misjudgment on my part. And it could be. It could be. I really hope that over the next, couple of videos that I film here, that I can get a feel for what this place is really like now. And I hope there's some of that vibe there, that people actually come here not just to go somewhere else, but they come in here because they like Padang Bay. I mean, that's what it used to be. Oh, there's a little mosque down there. I might go across there. Okay. What have we got? Oh, it's a Warung Muslim. Interesting. Oh, the mosque's over there. There it is. Well, I didn't know that was there. That's pretty cool to know. There's a little mosque there as well, as there are in most places in Bali, to be honest. The thing that really has turned me off this town in more recent times is the amount of hassle that you get. So there's always been a little bit of it because people do transit through here, but because of the rise of the gillies, in particular over the past sort of 15, 20 years, this place has been known as just the jumping off point for the gillies. And the amount of hassle you get is just crazy. And it's not just the hassle. I mean, you've probably seen some of the viral videos, but there are some very aggressive people in this town chasing tourists for money. I mean, I've even seen it with my own eyes and not filmed it. Just real nasty, aggressive behaviour from some locals in the transport trade that have really just done some nasty things in this town. And I've seen it online, I've seen it with my own eyes. That's not a good thing. And it's really, honestly, something they need to clean up if they want anyone to come here for any other purpose than for transit purposes. Maybe that's why it's more of a transit town now. Maybe the people who came here because it was pleasant don't really want to come here anymore. I wouldn't be surprised by that. There we go, ticket online. So the ferry system now is all online. So there is an app and you can go and buy your own tickets online, and I've done that myself, and it's it's a bit of a hassle, to be honest. It's a bit of a pain. If you know what you're doing and you've got local language and all that sort of stuff, you can do it, and I have done it. But you used to be able to just go up to the ticket window and buy one on your own. Now you have to go through these agents who basically are on the app themselves or on the website, and they'll just buy it on your behalf, and they'll take a little commission. It's not the end of the world, and you can still get it done, but it's just not as, it's just a different system, I guess. So up and down that main road, there are agents all over the place that can sell you a ticket if you don't really have the online thing. Mainly to go to, so I'm talking about the inter-island ferry, so mainly to go to Lombok. If you want to go to somewhere like the Gillies, it's a different kettle of fish. It's not run by the government, they're private operators, and they all have their own system. So you just go to whichever place you want and buy it direct there. If you're going across the Gillies from here, it's not that far. I mean, it's less than 2 hours to get to the Gillies from here, and quite an easy trip. If you want something a little bit more adventurous, you just go along the slow boat, go across on the slow boat to Lombok, which takes about 4 hours, and then you're left to your own devices. Normally requires transport from there up to a place called Bangsal, and then Bangsal across on some other sort of boat across to the islands of the Gillies. I mean, it's probably slightly cheaper, but not much, and it takes you all day to do it. So, I mean, the best way is the fast boat, but depends what sort of trip you're on as well. Like if you're on one of these slow trips and you just want to cruise around, you might not want to go to the Gillies straight away anyway. You might want to go across and do some of the southern islands first, And then obviously if you're doing the southern islands, then you've got a bit more time to go through Lombok a little bit more and maybe end up in the Gillies that way. And then maybe come back on a fast boat through Padang Bay. That place there is called Lemo. I mean, it's a little bit late in the day at the moment to be talking about that, but basically it's a coffee shop. The guy that owns that place has a lot of international experience. He's been on cruise ships for many, many years, and his attention to detail when it comes to customer-focused things, like this guy's being rude over here. There's always some rude guy. He's a really good guy. I've had long chats with him about tourism and that sort of stuff, and what the good thing to do for Padang Bay would be and that sort of stuff. He's got some great ideas. It's those sorts of guys that you want in positions of power, to be honest. But even though he's probably not going to be able to change the world, go over there and get a couple of coffees from him and some sandwiches. They're the biggest sandwiches you can imagine, and the coffee's great too. So go and see that guy. Good guy, a good guy. So the beach is over there. It's quite a nice little beach actually. And then along this little section here is where all the dive resorts and restaurants have historically been. And there are quite a few little backpacker places along here as well. Quite pleasant actually, quite pleasant. I'm off camera, I've actually been harassed a little bit. It's not that I'm being harassed, like in Kuta you get harassed, you're always used to it. It's no big deal, but there's sometimes a little bit of negativity as well. Like I'm just getting because I'm filming a little bit as well, you get people shouting out just little things as well, like just not nice things. Oh, little cat. Look at this one. Isn't that one cute? Hello. There's just a few people around that probably, I don't know, probably not very nice people, shouting things out. You do get that feeling from time to time here in Bali. I've definitely been getting it here a little bit more than normal. I guess that's the transactional nature of the interaction between visitors and locals, and especially if the visitors are only coming through on a very, very short transit. Of course it's going to be very transactional and not pleasant. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. Not with everyone, of course. There's been a few people so far though. Not great. My plan today is to head up across the bay, up that little hill there. There's a temple over there, I just want to have a look at that. The Blue Lagoon is over the backside, and there's actually a bunch of, well, it's like a resort type thing that back in the day you could have put money into and bought one, called the Blue Lagoon as well. It's a different spelling to the actual Blue Lagoon where you can go swimming. And I was sort of up here before the thing was even sort of finished, when it was in its building phase. I don't know when that was, prior to 2010, that's for sure. Can't remember exactly when it was. But anyway, the person who designed it, that guy, world-renowned architect from Britain, if I'm not mistaken, also designed a place called the Tea Houses in Ubud as well. And they were really fantastic little places, like to live, but also he built this place up on the hill as well called Blue Lagoon. And there's a lot of monkeys going crazy over there. There's monkeys everywhere. Yeah, he had a real sustainability focus. That was his story. He was quite old when I met him back in the day, a long, long time ago. So he'd probably have to be late 80s by now, I would imagine. Yeah, heaps of monkeys going crazy here. I'm not a big fan of monkeys when you're on your own, like, you know, you're a bit exposed. Yeah, go up this hill. During that construction phase of the Blue Lagoon, they had one already completed, and most of it, because it had this sustainability bent, most of it hadn't been completed yet, and most of each of the buildings was not air conditioned, so it was just fans, which you can get away with if you've got a breeze. But I went there on a still day. They had the ceiling fans going and only one air conditioner in the bedroom, and I just couldn't see myself in a place like this, on the top of a hill exposed to the sun. Oh, it had shelter, of course, but it was just boiling hot. I think it would have been a tough ask to live in that thing without AC all throughout, honestly. I'm not sure what they did in the end. I reckon they would have had to address it. Hello. Ngapain? Duduk. Ya? Kenapa? Ya, bikin konten aja. Jalan-jalan sedikit, ngobrol sama orang lokal. YouTube, Sanur Diaries. Ya, jalan-jalan lagi ya. Kamu tahu apa? Ya, bilang aja. Mau tanya apa? Nggak jadi. Ya, nggak jadi. Malu ya. He's got no brakes on that one. Kids having a bit of fun, cheeky little rascals. When you get these transit towns and they are purely about extracting as much money from a person as possible before they leave again, it's no wonder you get some of these, let's face it, pretty unpleasant interactions. If that's the only focus is to get as much money as you can before that person leaves, of course it's going to be quite unpleasant. And I think that's what's happened here, to be honest. As soon as that trade going to Gillies really exploded, which it has done, it really made it just not that great, to be honest. All right, we'll go up to this little temple up here. Pura, what is it? Sila Yukti. There it is, it's a big sign over there, Sila Yukti. Top of the hill. Seems like the locals do come up here as well. Look at the view. It is a wonderful view over the little bay. It is a tiny bay. Hello. Nice little bay. It's actually a stunning bay. Like, that view is just world class, I think. Amazing. We'll have a little bit of a walk around here. Won't go through the temple, of course, but we'll go to the other side of it. There's a bit of haze around at the moment. I don't know what the haze is, whether it's something to do with sea spray or whether it's just pure pollution. It looks like pure pollution, but it's so thick that it doesn't make sense that would be just pollution. You know what I mean? Like, how could it be just so polluted? I can't imagine it being the case. But it looks like it. Don't know, maybe it's something to do with humidity. I know that when you get high humidity, somehow particles stick to the humid bits of the air and make it go like that. I'm sure there's some of you out there who are experts at this that'll know. So if you do know, drop a comment. That's the Ekajaya Fast Ferry. That's one of those Gillies ferries. And they spin off over in that direction somewhere, over there. And then that one there is one of the Lombok ferries. They do go to a few other places from here as well, but they're the main ones, the Gillies. They go to Nusa Penida as well. So there's some public ferries, some private ferries. It's actually a pretty nice town. Like, I don't mind it. I'm just thinking about, in my mind, playing on my mind that I've had some of this this shouting out thing. It's a different type of harassment, like taxi, because people think they're going to get some money out of you because they think you have to leave here. So I'm just wondering, you know, sometimes how when you go to a place and you're in a negative frame of mind and you sometimes project out what you believe's happening, but it's not really happening. Sometimes you think, oh, yeah, the locals don't like me or whatever, and then actually that's not the case at all. You're just sort of misreading things. That can happen from time to time. And I sort of thinking to myself, is that happening here in Padang Bay? Maybe partially. It might partially be like that. Yeah, it could partially be like that. I might be misreading some of that. But I certainly don't have a great feeling. You know, your gut tells you sometimes. And I can understand some of what people are saying, not when they're speaking Balinese, of course. But if I get an interaction and I go and speak to someone, you can feel some of that energy. Yeah. Not great. So as I walk up this road, that temple that I showed you is here on my left. On the right is that Pertamina terminal, which I have mentioned in previous videos, which is around the Manggis area. And well, Manggis is a little bit further along, and then Chandidasa is right over in the distance, and I can actually see Chandidasa from here. I'll point it out, although the camera won't give you the full view of it. There is an object there that you will be able to notice. And it's right there on that point. There's a little white hotel right on the edge of that hill. It's another Project Mangkrak, one of those stalled projects. And we know that I was staying just down from there, just in there somewhere, at the very eastern end of Chandidasa. And yeah, that takes about 20 minutes to get between there and here, about. I think that's how long it took on the motorbike. Not too bad, not too bad. It's interesting, to get to Chandidasa from Sanur only took me like an hour and 15 minutes. To here, yeah, it's about an hour. It's very close to Sanur. It's actually quicker to get here often than it is to go to Ubud because of the traffic situations in Ubud these days. It's that quick. So it's worth a nick up here, even on a day trip for sure. But coming up here for a couple of nights, I mean, to explore it, and if you don't really know the area, have a bit of a look around, well, that's certainly worthwhile as well. And there it is, the famed Blue Lagoon, one of the premier beaches on the whole of this coastline, honestly, mainly because you can get out there and snorkel, but also because it's a white sand beach. It's quite shallow. The waves are there, but not too rough. And look at it, just beautiful. You can get down through a small track over here, which I'll show you. I'll actually get down there to beach level, but from up here, it actually looks better. You can actually get a view of some of the blueness there. On a sunny day, when that sun is beating down on that, it is just incredible. Just incredible. I think for that alone, you know, spending a few nights here is nice. I really do like Padang Bay. I really do like it. I just wish you didn't get harassed by those transport dudes. They are the worst. Just thought I'd take a little shortcut through these bushes, and I think I've found the track down to the beach. Here we go. I'm on the way down. Beauty. It's actually not very far down here. You just take it slow down these steps, and it's pretty easy going coming down these steps. A little waddle there. I'm not sure if that's still operational or not. It looks like it's not. We'll have a look down here. Here it is. It's paradise, isn't it? That's a beautiful, beautiful spot. It's pretty special, honestly. Pretty special place. There's some little rock pools over there in the corner that you can get in there and probably get some cut up feet. You probably want to wear some flip flops or some sort of you know, one of those amphibious sandals or whatever to go on those. But the sand itself is quite nice there, and there is a little bit of coral. But if you want to go snorkeling, for sure you can put on some snorkeling flippers and go out there and have a look around. It's not far. There's a lot of fishermen out there, so I'm not sure how many fish you'll see if you go snorkeling. Thinking about some of those pieces of friction that occur with tourists and the locals here, especially the transport locals, it sort of brings you to the point of what is the point of tourism anyway? Like for the locals, if they don't get money out of it, there's just no point to it. They get a degraded quality of life because there's so many visitors coming through. unless they're getting money for it, what's the point? You hear of this in Venice and Barcelona. People can't afford to live in Barcelona and Venice these days because a lot of the accommodation is taken up by tourists. And then it begs the question, well, why do we even want these people here? If they're not going to give us money to survive, what's the point? And I guess that's the point here in Padang Bay as well. Now that tourism has sort of shifted towards this very transit-based tourism where people are coming and going within the matter of like half an hour, then what is the point of this at all? If the people aren't getting money from hotel stays or not getting money through working in restaurants and so forth because people are just blasting on through, what's the point? And I guess that's probably the friction that we're feeling right now, where people, the locals, are trying to get as much money as they can to survive. Now, from a tourism point of view, you hate it because you're getting harassed and people want your money. From their point of view, it's survival. And this is a real point of friction all around the world, where there is a certain style of tourism, where it's a faster style of tourism, where people are in and out. They're only taking, not giving back. And I often think about that in my own journeys. What benefit are we giving to the local people when we're there? If you travel a little bit slower, eat at the restaurants, stay in the hotels, pay for a tour or something like that, I'm sure that goes some way to sort of making up for the inconvenience that you cause people. But if you come through and you're just transiting, I can understand why there's problems. Now, I don't justify the behaviour of some of those drivers who have been appalling in their behaviour, especially when you see some of those viral videos on social media where they're getting very aggressive and almost becoming physical with people. I don't defend that at all, but you can understand where it's coming from and the protectionism that's in place because of it. I don't understand it as much in a place like Sanur, where there is a lot of that as well, down at the harbour there. There's really terrible behaviour there. I don't understand it as much there because Sanur has a lot more opportunities for work. Here, not so much. This is an interesting little place. It used to be a backpacker place back in the day. I'm not sure what it is now. I remember upstairs there used to be almost like a dorm type arrangement up there. It's a bamboo hut, a large one, bamboo pavilion. You could get a bed up there, or a mattress slung on the floor with a mosquito net. That's it. And then you just use the communal toilet and shower. And that was so cheap back in the day, like really, really awesome. Oh, that's cool. A Muslim graveyard. Didn't know that was here. Hello. There's a really important thing called sopan santun in Indonesian culture. It's about being polite to people. The politeness is really important. Sopan santun. Do you remember that? And that's the basis of the way that people interact with the world and other people. And so when you don't feel that from someone in Indonesia, it's a little bit sharp, a little bit unusual, and you feel it immediately. Some people sort of put it down as being that submissive behaviour. People aren't being submissive, they're being polite. And sometimes in the West we think, if we're polite, we're being submissive, or if we're being polite, we're being weak. But it's not. I mean, being polite is just being nice to people. And here, being polite is really important. So when you don't get that politeness from people, it feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? And I'm always one for treating people the way that you want to be treated. So that's why you'll see in a lot of my videos when I interact with local people, I'm polite. I'm very, putting myself on the same level as people so that there's some equality there, rather than it's just some big old tourist going in flashing his money around, which I think is part of the problem, to be honest, in some of these places. You think you've got all the power because you've got the money, but it's not really the case. So that's why I might just go down this road. So that's why I sort of act the way that I do. I try to be quite polite and quite normal with people, give a bit of sopan santun to other people, because if you don't have that, well, you don't really have that connection, do you? It's on it's on the wrong level. No thanks. I apologise if I've been on a bit of a rant today, a bit of a negative rant in some aspects as well. I guess it's just reality, isn't it, when you come to a place where you just don't feel the vibe, and that's how I'm just calling it as I see it. I don't want to slag anyone off. I'm just calling it as I see it, and if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I really am happy that I've been able to take you along for the ride today, as usual, here in Padang Bay. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur, a bit of Padang Bay and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and Sampai Jumpa.